I bid you welcome.
I welcome you to my house.
Welcome to my house.
Welcome to my home.
Hello horror hounds, welcome to my horror house. Are you ready for a nice big thick slice of cheese? Every day this week I'm going to be watching a Resident Evil movie and then flapping my jaws about it. Next up is Resident Evil Extinction, aka the one in the desert, aka the Mad Max one. This one starts with a great cold opening of Alice waking up in the mansion like she did in the first movie, and then visiting a sort of remix of locations from the first movie that sort of backfoots us until it's eventually revealed that we're at a desert facility and she's one of dozens and dozens of Alice clones, and we pull back to see a ton of Walking Dead style zombies outside the facility in the desert. And it is this kind of what the fuckery that the franchise excels at, and I love it when it plays with that kind of nonsense. The zombies are starting to look really good now. Time has passed, they're more emaciated, they're more rotten. There's probably more money behind the makeup effects. The look of the zombies in Extinction is on point, cannot fault it. Also can't fault any film that incorporates iron butterflies in a Garda de Vida. This is what they're playing in the road convoy. Why wouldn't it be a road convoy of survivors? Which brings to mind George Romero's Dead Reckoning, the truck he featured in Land of the Dead, and the sequel to that movie he wanted to do, called Dead Reckoning, a road movie zombie apocalypse. We get a little taste of what could have been here in Resident Evil. It's time for Who's That Brit? That Brit is returning Ian Glenn from his brief cameo in the previous movie as Dr. Isaacs. Ian Glenn, everyone will know from Game of Thrones, the man who has said Khaleesi more than anyone else on the face of the planet, is experimenting on the zombies, experimenting with the T-virus. His plans are incredibly reminiscent of Dr. Frankenstein's plans in George Romero's Day of the Dead, his vivisection experiments to try and make the zombies docile and turn them into a viable workforce. Of course, Dr. Isaacs in this has got many other plans up his sleeve. He's a megalomaniacal psycho, but there's obviously a reference to Day of the Dead. One of the things I love in the Resident Evil movies is zombie animals. We've had a couple of instances of zombie Doberman pinchers, and now we get zombie crows. That most of them are CG, I'll wave that away, because an infected flock of zombie crows is just too awesome not to love. When we're sitting with the survivors and their convoy and Claire Redfield for a while, the movie does get a little bit navel-gazy. The pace does get lost, but then they go to Vegas to try and get some more fuel, and things do pick up a bit again. I love the look of the desert reclaimed Las Vegas. Isaacs decides to drop in some zombies that he's tinkered with to heighten their aggression, to take on the band of survivors, and there's an extended action set piece there in the desert reclaimed Las Vegas, which is pretty freaking rock and roll, to be honest. Dr. Isaacs gets bitten and starts to mutate, and Alice decides she needs to bust into the underground Las Vegas umbrella facility, where there she faces off against a mutated Dr. Isaacs who has shades of Stuart Gordon's From Beyond to him. He is by far the best sort of end of level, end of game, end of movie boss fight that we've had so far. Really in the vein of the games, the strange mutated end of level monsters that you have to face off there. And after all that insanity, we get a nice coda in the underground Tokyo umbrella facility. We have dozens of clone Alices who are coming to get them, and it's just this kind of bonkers stuff that I love about this cheesy action horror-tinged franchise.